Hello, good morning. This is Carlos Samaniego. On a Saturday morning here in my office, had to get a little bit of work done. If you guys had heard, my mom was actually hospitalized on Friday, was taken to Loma Linda University via ambulance. And thank God she's doing okay. Actually feels much better. And I'm actually heading out to pick her up here in about 20 minutes. But I wanted to bring a quick video in regards to something that's really been bothering me after the end of this last tax season. Tax season officially ended for 2017, Monday, October 15th. That was the final day to get your individual and corporation tax returns in. And something had happened a couple of weeks prior to that final date with a specific client. I had a specific client came here for some tax resolution stuff. This individual owed quite a bit of money to the IRS, and they were getting ready to levy her paycheck over at work. And when they were going to levy that paycheck, we had like 5 days to stop the levy so they wouldn't take that paycheck. And I was able to stop that. That was the good news behind that. I was able to stop the levy, or garnishment. That's a better way of putting it. It was an actual garnishment of her monthly paycheck. But one thing that really kind of caught my eye when I was reviewing her situation was that she owed quite a bit of money over the previous years. Every single year, there was a 5-figure liability that she owed to the IRS, and I noticed it was like that for 3 years. Then all of a sudden, last year, she only owed a couple of $1,000s. So obviously, as a person who prepares taxes, you know what happened last year that didn't happen the previous years, because you had such a large balance due every single year. And she said that she found a great tax preparer that was referred to her, and she was able to get it all fixed. Or excuse me, when I say get it all fixed, the tax preparer was able to dramatically reduce how much money she owed, her liability that she owed to the IRS. And I was kind of curious about that, because she was a W-2 wage earner, where just a regular employee. So I'm thinking, well, what could he have done to dramatically reduce that liability in 1 year, considering nothing had changed? She had told me nothing had changed. Everything was pretty much the same it was the previous year, except for last year, other than finding a new tax preparer, that she was able to get this balance reduced that she owed. So I told her, why don't you bring your tax returns over so I can review those tax returns? So as I'm reviewing the tax returns, something kind of really stood out that shouldn't have been there based on what she had, our conversations earlier. So I had asked her what exactly do you do? And she's like, I'm an employee for a certain company. I'm like, okay. I'm like, did you start a business last year? And she's all, no. Why would you ask that? And I said, okay. If you didn't start a business, why is it on your tax return there's a Schedule C, which is for somebody who has a business and is running it as a sole proprietorship? So I turned the tax return around and showed it to her, and we had a Schedule C that she had started a business, and we had $50,000 of deductions on the Schedule C. Now I saw what had happened. We had a fake Schedule C with made-up business deductions that dramatically reduced how much money she owed for last year. And she was in complete shock. She says, I have no idea where that came from. I said, well, did you tell him you started a business? Did you have a business? Did you give him receipts to show the deductions for this business? She said, no. So based on what she's telling me, this return was completely made up. So based on a completely made up tax return, now here's the big issue that I have. Obviously, it's an incorrect tax return. One of the things that I do when it comes down to preparing an individual's tax return is that I actually sit down and review the entire tax return with my client. I go over the entire 1040, the numbers that are there, why are they there, and then what the final, obviously what the result is of that tax return. because I explained that because you're signing that tax return under penalty of perjury. That you know exactly what you're signing. So even though this tax preparer made this up, she also signed it saying that she knew exactly what she was signing. Now, there was an article that came out in the news yesterday, and I'm pulling up this article. And this article was about a West Virginia tax preparer. I'm pulling it up right here. West Virginia tax preparer gets 9 years in prison for filing false tax returns. 9 years in jail for filing a false tax return. The article goes on to say that the owner of this tax preparation company was sentenced Friday in Virginia to 9 years in prison for preparing thousands of tax returns for clients who claim bogus tax credits and expenses. It goes on to say that the returns prepared by this person inflated items including education credits, child care expenses, and business expenses, made up business expenses to reduce their tax liability. So here's the thing. The tax preparer is going to prison. If I did that, I'm going to go to prison for doing that stuff. Here's the thing. You also signed that tax return saying that you know exactly everything that's on the tax return under penalty of perjury. This individual, I told her, she's like, well, what do I do? What do I do? Well, there's only one thing to do is to immediately amend those tax returns and get that over to the IRS so they can amend it to what it should be correctly. Is she going to have a larger tax bill? Absolutely. Will it prevent her from going to jail? 99% yeah, because she's bringing it up to the IRS. Again, we're notifying the IRS that was an incorrect tax return. So we got to get that changed. Now, here's the thing. Going forward, when you do your taxes, know what's on that tax return. Don't rush in there and ask what a lot of people do. Well, just tell me the bottom line. Do I owe money? Am I getting a refund? Or know what's on that tax return, please. Don't take the chance. Don't trust anybody. Have them spend the extra 5 to 10 minutes to go through the tax return, so you have an idea of exactly where those numbers are coming from. Don't get yourself in trouble. With that, that's just a quick story. Please, know what you're signing. Right before I get out of here, just wanted to let you know that open enrollment for health insurance season started Monday, October 15th. What does that mean? Time to get health insurance. Time to update your health insurance. I know there's a lot of you that did not enroll in health insurance last year, and we're trying to get short-term policies to kind of tide you over. Those don't exist anymore in California. California no longer has a short-term policy. So now is the time to enroll in health insurance. If you're turning 65, new to Medicare or on Medicare, now's the time to make a switch if you need to make a switch. I am available to assist you with that, so go ahead and give us a call at 909-570-1103, and we will help you get your health insurance chosen for the rest of 2019. And that is my Saturday out, going to get mom, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.